Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and it's been a wee while, but it's finally time to talk about Celtic back in action. Some football has been played, it's time to return to the pitch, and it's in the stage of the Champions League as well. It's been a while since we've said that, but let's preview and talk about tomorrow's game against Reykjavik. Now, very quickly before I start the video, I actually just want to give a shout out to a page that is trying to do something massive in their community, and something that I do firmly believe would be a fantastic idea. So that's why I've decided to give them a shout on here, and hopefully you guys can do your bit, go and support them out and help them to reach their goals. So basically, there's a little town in County Down, Ireland called Newry, which is the birthplace of former Celtic manager Willie Maley. Willie Maley, of course, I don't really need to go through what he means to Celtic Football Club. He's the most successful manager the club has ever seen, and ultimately a legend, a man who deserves a statue outside Celtic Park, never mind in his hometown of Newry in Ireland. The group got in touch with me through email and asked if I'd very kindly give them a shout to help raise awareness on their page. So if you could please, I'll put the links on screen, go follow their Facebook and Twitter pages to support them with their cause. You know, the more attention they get in their pages, the more people are likely to get on that page and, you know, help give some money or whatever to help donate to what is a fantastic cause. It'd be fantastic for the man to be commemorated in the place of his birth, and this group are doing a fantastic thing towards achieving that. Of course, we've seen the likes of it happen down in Saltcoats with the Bobby Lennox statue. Jimmy Johnson has a statue at his hometown as well. It'd be lovely for Willie Maley to be celebrated there, a man who, you know, means so much to Celtic Football Club, and one of the greatest managers ever in the game. I mean, the achievements just go on and on and on as Celtic manager, and we have the song to celebrate him for a reason, because he is ultimately one of the most important men to ever walk through the doors of Celtic Park. So the links are on screen, the ats and such, to go and follow their page. They're doing a cracking thing over there, and the more awareness they get, the better. The more likes, the more numbers. You know how it works, the more we'll find them. So make sure to go and follow them. Very nice group of people there. So that's all I can really say. Right then, on to the football, and of course Celtic back in action tomorrow as we take on Reykjavik in the Champions League qualifiers. It's been a wee while, innit? You know, an eventful week last week with the whole situation we found ourselves in. Our games were postponed. We should have had 2 games leading up to this, but now we find ourselves in the situation where we've not played since that draw at Rugby Park over a week ago, which is, it's slightly annoying. Not going to lie about it. You know, you'd rather go into this game with some more minutes under your belt, and I'm sure all the players will be saying that to themselves. But of course, one person had to screw it up for us all, and we've paid the consequence now. It's just time to move on, forget about it. We've been punished, so, you know, we need to just forge on now and carry on with our season. And the first step is to get through to the next round of the Champions League qualifiers. Now, the big difference, of course, if you don't know, then you've been under a rock, but the massive difference this year about the Champions League qualifiers is there's only one game. You know, usually we would head over to Reykjavik, then we'd bring it back and play at Celtic Park. No, not this time. It's working obviously the same as the knockout stages of the Champions League and the Europa League, and that is one game and one game only, which is slightly terrifying for a team like Celtic. We know how to scare ourselves in these games. Over the last few years, I don't even need to talk about what the Champions League qualifiers have been like. Since I've started my channel, we have been suffering losses to the likes of Lincoln Red Imps. We had to score a last-minute penalty against Astana to go through. Cluj papped us out last season. Ultimately, it's been a very frustrating ride over the past sort of 5 years in the Champions League qualifiers, and that was with 2 legs. Now, with 1 leg, it's heart attack material. I don't know if I'm going to be taking it. I feel like by the end of the game, I could be on the floor, but as I get to the first round, it's the easiest round. We are a far better team than Reykjavik. We should be able to go through, but it is one of those ones you just never know. All it takes is a dodgy performance on the day, and you can't recover. You know, we don't have that luxury of a second leg to come back to and get the job done there. No, it's a one shot and one shot only thing. And this year, getting to the Champions League is also important. I obviously spoke about how last season we were packed out of Cluj, which was at the time a shock. When you look at it now in retrospect, Cluj are a very good team. They've done incredibly well in Europe last year. They went to the last 32 of the Europa League alongside us after somehow making it out a group with us, Lazio and Rennes. You know, they had a fantastic year, but the last couple of years have been a severe disappointment for us. We've not made it to the Champions League group stage, and there is this argument that a lot of people make that the Europa League group is better than the Champions League group, but you've got to look at it like this. Celtic are one of the biggest clubs in Europe, and yes, perhaps now we go to the Champions League group stages and we get our backside handed to us, in lack of a better word, but it's where we need to be. We need to stride forward. You know, you've got to aim to go forward. You can't just be content with going to the Europa League every year. Of course, we've got a better chance of more memorable occasions. Look what happened last year. We beat Lazio home and away. We had a fantastic game against Rennes at Celtic Park as well. And we played very, very well. We were just a strong looking side. In all games at Celtic Park. And yes, you're not going to get that in the Champions League if you're drawn with Bayern Munich, PSG, Man City, all these teams. You're not going to get that. But number one, there's £30 million in the line here, which is massive for a club like us. A lot of people may argue Peter Lawwell doesn't exactly reinvest it, but it's huge. That money is, you know, sets you up for the next sort of 5-6 years if we get through to the Champions League group stage. And just everything, the exposure, everything else, and the chance to just maybe, perhaps, make something spectacular happen like we did in the year 12-13 is always just really, you know, it's always in the back of your mind. You know, there's always a chance. It's just really, it's luck. You could get a group you can go through, you could get a group you're going to get shafted. The 2 times we went there under Brendan Rodgers, sadly, we were given the first year, Barcelona and PSG, then the next year we were given Bayern Munich and PSG. Our luck was not there, it just was non-existent. But we need to we need to move forward. We need to get into the Champions League. We've had 2 years in the Europa League group stage now. We've made it to the knockout stages of the Europa League the last couple of years. But we need to move forward. And that is ultimately what I would love to see. So this is the first step, getting past Reykjavik tomorrow night. But we can't take them for granted. Solid side, and they're in this position for a reason. Reykjavik go into the game third in their current, you know, division. They're in that Icelandic Premier League. Sitting third in the table, a 2-1 loss in their last game, and interestingly the 2 games before that were actually postponed, but they have been playing a lot more football than we have over the past few months. So, you know, they're going to go in ready. I'm sure they'll want to make a name for themselves. Interestingly, I completely forgot yesterday when I was doing the back pages, and if you've not watched it, go back and watch it. It's on the channel for yesterday, and I was showing off the big photo of Callum McGregor in that yellow and green strip back in 2014, and I was showing it off. I completely forgot that was from his professional debut. We've took them on before in the past. Last time we played them, we won 1-0 away from home. I can't remember the score at home now, it's slipped my head, but we went through. But that was from that game. But they go into this for the table. They've been playing football. We've obviously had a hold for the last week, so we might have a little bit of rustiness. But I don't expect that. Look, we are the better team. Our team is worth far more than them. The players are just incredibly better. It's one of those luxuries that we get in European football in these rounds, that we are the kind of PSGs. We are the Man Cities. And of course, we've buggered it in the past. Lincoln Redham's being the main example. It's always possible, but it shouldn't be happening. We should be going to this game tomorrow, and from the start to the finish, completely dominating the game. Now, of course, we could find ourselves in a situation that we did at Rugby Park, where they have 10 men behind the ball and we struggle to break them down. But I don't think we're going to see that from Reykjavik. I think they'll be a little more attacking minded than what you see the likes of Kilmarnock being, purely because they know it's one leg. They don't exactly have a reason to protect themselves going into a home match that they would have in their stadium next week. No, it's a one chance thing. Yes, I do think there'll be a more defensive side because we are the better team and they need to try and drain the life out of us. If they watched any of that Kilmarnock game, they should be picking up pointers on how to do it. But I don't think they're going to go for that completely park the bus approach. I think they will try and move forward at times. They'll probably try and shake us up a wee bit. I'm sure they'll get physical throughout the game, but we have the quality to go from the minute 1, minute 90, just completely dominate the ball and go as forward as much as possible. I don't expect us to go 1, 5, 6, 7-0. I'm not that disrespectful to the side, but you know, we should be winning it with ease. It's a game where we should be picking ourselves up, making sure we get through the next round and getting it done, because purely as well, we're at Celtic Park. We've got the home advantage. We were lucky to get the home advantage because it is just down to luck of the draw, but we should be getting the job done. And as for the team itself, they need to recover from that 1-0 draw. They need to pick up the cup, because we've seen what happened after they dropped the points to Kilmarnock. And of course, it's a good laugh now because Rangers dropped points to Livingston yesterday. But you see what happened last week. You know, the reaction from not just opposition fans, but especially within the Celtic support. There was a really big doubt amongst people on Twitter, and I tried to keep as quiet on as possible because, look, we're going to drop points throughout the season. You're not going to win every week. It's going to be a really difficult year. So I don't want to overreact about it, but there was a massive reaction on Twitter as to, you know, we need to do this, that, and I said drop him, sign him, blah, 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 and there was a real kind of negative energy surrounding that result. So I think the team will want to put that behind them in this game. So I think they want to go out and score as many as possible, try and get the fans happy, and with a positive showing for the next league game, because it's not going to be easy from here on out. We've had 2 games postponed, they'll have to get thrown in. We need to have our energy at the highest. We need to have our motivation at the highest, and we've got to have fans on side as well. As for the team, I'm going to predict the exact 11 that started against Kilmarnock. I don't think Neil Lennon's going to make any changes. As many people, you know, watching this video will probably want Cham to start the game. I have a feeling he's going to start the league game at the weekend, but I think it will be the exact same team that starts tonight. Even Forest starting, despite a lot of people saying let's go for the 3-5-2 now. We've got Ajeti. I think Ajeti will come on later on into the game. I don't think he's going to start right now. I think especially when we get a centre half in, whether it be Shane Duffy or not, then we will switch to the 3-5-2. For now, I think he's going to stick with 4 at the back. And for my score prediction, I'm going to say 3-0 win Celtic. That's what I'm going to go for. I know I said that about Rugby Park and we've seen what happened, but I'm more confident about tomorrow night. So if you have enjoyed the video, make sure that like and subscribe. It is much appreciated, and I'll see you all next time.